I want to say something about my mama. Your mama dead as Your mama dead as Go dig her up. Go dig her up.
But man, when you start talking about people's deceased parents, you crossing a line that's hard to come back from.
Welcome back to BuzzBuster. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss daily videos. 50 Cent just lit a fire under King Harris, and now the internet's losing it. King jumped on live and went off like never before. Then Boosie stepped in with straight smoke, ready to stir the pot even more. But King and T.I. weren't prepared for what Boosie dropped next. Things took a wild turn fast. 50 Cent pushed the line, and King Harris completely snapped. Now listen, in hip-hop, there's an unwritten rule everybody's supposed to know. You can clown a man's music, his drip, his numbers, or even his hairline. That's fair play. That's part of the game.
I want to say something about my mama. Your mama dead as Your mama dead as Go dig her up. Go dig her up.
But one thing you don't do is drag someone's family into it. You don't talk about a man's wife. You don't bring up his mama, ever. The beef should stay between the two people who've actually got the problem, not their loved ones. But on February 22nd, 2026, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson decided to cross that sacred line, and he did it in front of the whole world. The chaos that came after, it's some of the most personal, messy, and straight-up uncomfortable drama hip-hop's seen in years. Here's how it all started. 50 Cent and T.I. had been throwing shots over versus battles and old snitch talk for weeks. The tension was heavy, but it was still regular rap beef. Just two legends talking slick online, nothing too crazy, until 50 decided to take it way too far. Nothing out of the ordinary had happened until 50 Cent jumped on Instagram and crossed the line big time.
Picture of your mama, she dead. Pay respect. Stop playing with my mama. Playing like that. Going.
He posted a rough photo of T.I.'s wife, Tamika Tiny Harris, and the caption, straight up humiliating. He basically told her to stay out of grown folks' business, but the tone was cold and meant to embarrass her in front of millions of people. This wasn't some slick subliminal message or playful jab. It was a direct hit at a woman who had nothing to do with the tension between him and her husband. That's the moment everything spiraled out of control. Because when T.I. and Tiny's 21-year-old son, King Harris, saw that post, he completely lost it. He didn't wait for his dad to step in or for a family plan on how to respond. Nope, he went live and unleashed on 50 Cent in a way that made everyone stop scrolling and watch. The whole internet froze. King Harris had just taken this beef to a whole new level. And here's where things got dark. King went straight for 50's most painful wound. He brought up Sabrina Jackson, 50's mother, who tragically passed away in a house fire when he was just 8 years old. That's not just a sensitive topic, that's the heartbreak that shaped his entire life. But King didn't hesitate. He hit that nerve without flinching, with pure emotion driving every word. The young man from Atlanta wasn't backing down. He kept that same fiery energy.
Y'all raised, I'm not raised like that. I don't go. I'm not going about my mom. I'm not going.
And showed no signs of cooling off. There was no filter, no pause, just raw, uncut emotions spilling out live for thousands to see. He told 50 straight up, if you want to play the picture game and post somebody's mama online, then post your own mama, except you can't because she's not here anymore. The chat went wild. It was shocking, intense, and brutally personal, a moment nobody in hip-hop was ready for. That was the kind of moment that makes a whole room freeze, the kind of line that changes a beef forever. You could almost feel the air get heavy after that. King Harris didn't let up. He kept hammering that same message over and over. He made it clear that the way he was raised would never allow him to sit back and watch someone disrespect the woman who gave him life. He wanted everyone to understand, I was raised by T.I., I'm built different. That was his message, loud and clear. Then came the warning, a real one. King basically told 50 and anyone connected to him that they messed up bad by bringing this kind of energy to the Harris family's front door. That wasn't just talk, that was a public warning shot. But King didn't stop there. He went even deeper, right after the one thing everyone in hip-hop knows cuts 50 the most, his complicated relationship with Marquise Jackson. That hit hard.
Straight like that. Your son don't love you. You don't got no family.
Everybody knows 50 and Marquise have had a long, messy fallout that's played out online for years, and King knew exactly where to strike. He told the internet, all the fame, all the business moves, all the luxury, none of it matters if you're alone at the end of the day. He painted the picture clear. All that money don't mean nothing when you go home to an empty house. That's a new level of disrespect right there. Way past rap bars. That's personal warfare. Then King brought it full circle, reminding everyone what he stands on. He spoke from his roots, saying he's not just talking reckless. This is who he is.
And he didn't just talk about it, he proved it. On February 24th, 2026, King Harris hit the studio and dropped a diss track called Man on all major platforms. The video, pure intensity. Shot in a parking garage filled with foreign cars, King rocked a red hoodie and beanie while spitting bars with fire in his eyes. He rapped, "Speaking on my mama, I tell Chaz ring the alarm." Probably cross his legs and fold his arms. The bar hit like a punch. He stood on every single word. And just to make sure everyone got the message, King even posted an old wild photo of 50 Cent holding what looked like an adult toy and tagged it with a bold hashtag that had the whole internet buzzing. King wasn't just talking tough, he was setting the tone that this beef was personal. To make it crystal clear, that picture was real. No Photoshop, no games. King Harris had officially gone full scorched earth. No chill, no retreat, no surrender. And the internet, it was locked in, watching every single move like it was a live movie. Then came Boosie, ready to break it all down. When something this wild explodes in hip-hop,
Not love. You rich, but you not loved. Money means nothing without no one to spend it with. Your son don't love you.
everybody has something to say. Your favorite rapper's got an opinion, your cousin at the barbershop's got an opinion. Even that dude at the gas station still rocking FUBU's got something to say. But there are a few voices that really matter in the culture, and one of the most respected ones is Boosie Badazz. See, Boosie's not some internet loudmouth chasing clicks. This is a man who's lived it. He's done real time in the Louisiana penitentiary, survived the system, and stood on street code his entire life. He's always been raw, honest, and never scared to speak his truth, no matter who it might upset. So when Boosie finally sat down to talk about the King Harris and 50 Cent situation, the entire culture stopped what they were doing and tuned in. Everyone wanted to hear his take, because when Boosie talks, people listen. The first thing he did, he showed respect to King's emotions. He didn't clown him, didn't call him reckless. He understood exactly where that fire came from. Boosie recognized that King wasn't just wilding for attention. He was reacting from a real place. And that's something everyone could relate to. Because whether you're from the hood, the suburbs, or anywhere in between, there's one rule that stands the same everywhere. Your mama is sacred. That's not up for debate. That's not even a discussion. Boosie made it clear this whole mess started because someone decided to cross that sacred line. And once that happens, there's no going back. That was the realest take anyone had dropped on this whole situation. Boosie laid it out clear as day. Once you cross that family line, it stops being entertainment. You're not in rap beef territory anymore. You're in something way more personal and way more dangerous. When blood gets involved, all those industry rules go out the window because family hits different. Boosie gave King Harris his flowers for standing up for his people. He said straight up that he respected King's backbone and his loyalty. But then the tone shifted, because while Boosie understood why King reacted the way he did, he couldn't fully agree with how he did it. Boosie made sure to place the blame where it belonged, right at the start of it all. 50 Cent was the one who brought Tiny into a situation that had nothing to do with her. He lit that match, and once he did, everything else was bound to explode. And Boosie didn't sugarcoat anything. He kept it 100 about what the world already knows. 50 Cent has been running the internet like the biggest bully in hip-hop for over 2 decades. He's made a whole career out of trolling people until they react. then flipping their reaction to make them look worse. He's done it to Ja Rule, Rick Ross, The Game, Fat Joe, and now he's aimed it at T.I. and his family. That's his classic move. But this time, King Harris fired back with something even the internet wasn't ready for. His response came from a raw, emotional place, and it shook everyone watching. Boosie said it himself, this wasn't just a regular clapback, it was a whole different level. And coming from a man like Boosie, who said some of the wildest things in hip-hop history, that says everything about just how far King went. King was standing tall for his mama's name, making sure everybody knew that Tiny Harris is not someone you get to clown for internet likes. He was fighting to protect her legacy with everything he had. But in trying to defend that legacy, King went so far that even Boosie, a man who's seen the wildest things this culture can throw, said it was too much. Boosie repeated King's words back during his breakdown, and even then, you could feel the weight of it. The room got quiet, the tone got heavy, like thick smoke hanging in the air that wouldn't fade away. Heavy, dark, those were Boosie's exact words. And then, he dropped the line that summed up this whole messy situation better than anyone else had managed to.
He said there's always been a line you don't cross. And once you bring somebody's late mother into a rap beef, you're not just beefing anymore. You're in a place where peace talks don't work. No handshake, no truce, no apology can fix that. The damage is forever. That truth hit deep across the culture, because Boosie said what everyone else was too scared to say. Then he kept it brutally real about something most people were overlooking, the mismatch in this whole situation. King Harris, still young and fiery, jumped headfirst into a war with one of the most ruthless strategists hip-hop has ever seen, 50 Cent. And that's the part King probably didn't think through before he crashed out on that live. He wasn't just trading bars, he was going up against a man who's made a career out of dismantling people online and walking away smiling every single time. 50 doesn't even need to win the normal way. All he has to do is turn you into a meme, and once he does, it's game over. He's been doing that since before King was even old enough to hold a phone. But Boosie wasn't just warning him about social media smoke. He was talking about real-life consequences. He looked straight into the camera and said if King keeps moving reckless like that, prison time isn't just possible, it's inevitable. And he wasn't exaggerating. Boosie meant every word. Boosie didn't just talk from the sidelines, he brought it home with a real-life example. He compared the situation to his own son, Tootie Raw, saying he's already had the tough conversations with his boy's mama, and even his boy's grandma. He told them all the same thing, that reckless behavior always ends the same way, locked up. That wasn't some casual opinion. That was a straight-up warning from a man who's been there. Boosie knows what it's like to be behind them walls, to see what happens when somebody's mouth writes checks that reality ends up cashing. But just when people thought the situation couldn't get any messier, it did, because Boosie's own son, Tootie Raw, jumped into the beef too. He posted his own threats aimed at King Harris, telling him to stay in his lane. Of course, King wasn't about to back down, not even a little. Being who he is, he fired right back, questioning Boosie's credibility and asking straight up who made him the authority to check anybody. And just like that, boom, the beef branched out into a whole new direction, with Boosie's camp now caught in the crossfire too. But here's where things get really complicated. Boosie's not exactly backing T.I. behind the scenes either. Their relationship has its own tension. In past interviews, Boosie's even accused T.I. of cooperating with law enforcement to get lighter charges, calling it what the streets call it. He said he's seen the paperwork himself, so when Boosie speaks on this situation, he's not doing it from a neutral spot. He's not just a commentator, he's someone who's got his own issues with T.I., but still thinks 50 Cent took it way too far by dragging family into the mess. That's what makes Boosie's take hit different. He's calling everyone out, holding each side accountable, while still understanding where all the emotions are coming from. It's rare to see someone stand that balanced in the middle of so much chaos. And if you're sitting here wondering how something that started as a friendly Vazoo's conversation turned into full-blown war with dead mama jokes, NSF photos, and diss tracks filmed in parking garages, you're not the only one. Because the road from let's do 20 songs versus 20 songs to this might never be fixed has been one of the wildest, most chaotic turns in modern hip-hop history. And the crazy part? It all started years ago, long before this drama ever hit the timeline. See, T.I. had been chasing a Vazoo's showdown with 50 Cent ever since the platform popped off during the pandemic in 2020. This wasn't just some casual call-out. Tip was campaigning hard. He wanted to face the G-Unit general himself, the certified New York legend, the man behind Get Rich or Die Trying. T.I. was ready to go record for record, hit for hit. He believed his catalog, 11 albums deep, had more than enough power to wash 50's entire lineup. We're talking classics like What You Know, Live Your Life, Whatever You Like, Swagger Like Us, Bring 'Em Out, Rubber Band Man, and Big Things Poppin'. T.I. was convinced his hits would speak louder, and he wasn't shy about saying it. He even brought it up on 50's birthday back in 2020, posting a full 3-minute Instagram video where he directly challenged him and even mocked 50's 2007 sales loss to Kanye West as proof that 50 was scared of catalog smoke. But 50 Cent, he wanted no part of it. Not in 2020, not in 2021, even when T.I. literally crashed the stage at the Atlanta premiere of 50's hit show Black Mafia Family, grabbed the mic and called him out in front of the whole crowd. And not in February 2026, when T.I. went on Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco's Nightcap podcast and threw down the gauntlet again for the world to hear.
Every single time T.I. pulled up with a challenge, 50 hit back the same way, not with bars, but with trolling. He'd repost those old Crime Stoppers clips, toss around alleged courtroom footage, and push that snitch narrative hard. He'd caption it with stuff like, "Keep my name out your mouth," and "No verses, let's do the stay away challenge." That was 50's whole playbook: deflect, troll, and flip the narrative using memes instead of music. And it always worked because most people didn't know how to deal with that kind of internet energy. He'd clown the whole thing and walk away looking untouched. But then came February 22nd, 2026. T.I. sat down with $1 million worth of game and finally said what had been brewing for years, that he'd lost all respect for 50 Cent. He didn't sugarcoat it. He said the ducking, the trolling, the disrespect, all of it showed 50 wasn't built for that face-to-face competition. And this time, 50 didn't just troll back, he took it personal. That moment flipped the whole dynamic, from playful hip-hop rivalry to something darker, something that hit below the belt. The line between showbiz and real life blurred completely, and the fallout, it hasn't stopped shaking the culture since. That was the spark that set everything off. The moment 50 Cent posted that picture of Tiny Harris, the second that hit the internet, the whole situation exploded like dynamite meeting a live fuse. T.I. didn't waste time talking. He responded the way real artists do. He hit the studio. On February 22nd, he dropped War, and then followed it up the very next day, February 23rd, with another track titled Right One, produced by Lil Kaylee and A.B. Wright. Both tracks were full of heat, but Right One, that one was vicious. T.I. went for the jugular, calling 50 a 5-0 dispatcher, saying he was a small man in a big shell, and even bringing up 50's ex, Daphne Joy, with bars that had everyone's jaw on the floor. Those lyrics were nasty, sharp, and fearless, the kind of rapping people hadn't heard from Tip in years. And just like that, the culture lit up. Every blog, every show, every YouTube channel, everyone had something to say about it. Charlemagne the God was one of the first to jump in. He said it straight. 50 was the one who crossed the line first. According to Charlemagne, T.I. hadn't been disrespectful at all. It was 50 who made it personal for no reason. Then one of his co-hosts on The Breakfast Club pointed out something that kept coming up in every convo about the beef, that once you bring family into it, all bets are off. Then Charlemagne said the part that hit everyone right in the gut. He said those two legends shouldn't even be beefing in the first place. He wished they'd handle it like grown men instead of letting it turn this ugly. But at the same time, he completely understood why King Harris reacted the way he did once his mom got dragged into it. On the flip side,
DJ Academics came in with a totally different vibe. He wasn't playing the neutral card at all. He treated it like a scorecard and gave 50 the win, 4 rounds to 0. Academics said 50 was playing chess while T.I. was stuck trying to sell a versus battle. He claimed T.I. kept pushing the music angle while 50 was attacking his character, making Tip look like he was dodging the real smoke. Then Act called King's comments about 50's late mother holy, meaning wild and shocking, something that took the internet by storm. He also pointed out the huge mismatch between a 21-year-old rapper and a billionaire mogul who's been through every kind of beef imaginable. That take, of course, had the South in an uproar. As fans weren't feeling it one bit. They accused Academics of showing hometown bias towards 50 because of his New York roots. Meanwhile, Joe Budden broke it down on the Joe Budden podcast with one of the most balanced takes in the whole debate. He didn't pick sides. He analyzed both perspectives, acknowledging the emotions behind King's reaction and the calculated way 50 moves when it comes to public beef. By this point, the conversation had gone way beyond music. It wasn't just about bars, it was about pride, family, legacy, and the blurred lines between entertainment and real life. Joe Budden didn't hold back. He said he loved the way T.I. and his family stood together through the madness. He called T.I.'s diss tracks the cheat code to actually beating 50 Cent. Because if there's one thing 50 has never been able to handle, is a real musical response. His trolling always works best when people react emotionally online. But when someone steps into the booth and fires back with real bars, 50 doesn't have a comeback for that. Still, Joe raised a serious point that hit deep across the culture. He asked if this beef had already gone too far. Once people start bringing up deceased family members, he said, the whole situation stops being entertainment. He warned that once that line is crossed, making peace becomes almost impossible. And that's something hip-hop rarely recovers from.
Angela Yee also jumped into the conversation on her Way Up with Yee platform. She kept her tone neutral, but she highlighted some big updates everyone was missing. She pointed out how fast King Harris reacted right after 50 reignited the fire by posting Tiny's picture. And then she dropped a bombshell. 50 Cent had quietly started removing all T.I.-related posts from his Instagram. To fans watching closely, that looked a lot like backtracking, like maybe even 50 knew he went too far this time. Meanwhile, Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco, the same duo who had T.I. on their Nightcap podcast when this latest round began, also spoke up. On their next episode, they broke down 50's post, King's explosive reaction, and whether this whole situation was on the verge of turning into something real. They kept it funny at first, but beneath the laughs was a serious warning that everyone was thinking that this had shifted from sport to something dangerously personal, fast. And that's where things stand right now. As of February 26, 2026, King Harris's track Made Man is climbing on every streaming chart. T.I. keeps teasing new music that sounds like more shots fired at 50. 50, meanwhile, has scrubbed his Instagram clean of T.I. content, but he's still sliding in slick jabs and coded captions whenever he feels like stirring the pot. Boosie dropped his piece of the story and, in the process, got himself tangled in a side beef with King. Now the entire hip-hop world is watching this drama unfold like a reality show nobody asked for, but everyone keeps watching. And through all the noise, the same heavy question keeps echoing across every podcast, comment section, and barbershop debate. The same question Boosie asked during his sit-down. When you bring a man's late mother into a rap beef, where do you even go from there? Because in hip-hop, disrespect has always been part of the game. It's the price of competition, the fuel that keeps battles alive. But some lines, once you cross them, there's no coming back. No handshake can fix it. No phone call can smooth it over. No mutual friend or charity photo op can make it right again. The damage is permanent. Everyone involved, King Harris, T.I., 50, and even Boosie, knows deep down that once you mention a man's mother, especially one who's passed, there's no walking it back. By early March 2026, the tension hadn't cooled off. If anything, it had evolved into something even bigger. What started as a rap feud had now spilled into headlines, podcasts, and even business circles. The internet was on fire,
Every post or story related to T.I., King Harris, or 50 Cent getting millions of views in minutes. Behind the scenes, insiders said both camps were on edge. T.I. was reportedly tightening security around his family, while 50's team was keeping their moves low-key but strategic. Both sides understood the same truth. This wasn't just music anymore. This was about respect. And then came another twist. 50 Cent broke his silence with a surprise post on Threads. He didn't mention names, but everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. The caption read, "When you raise your kids to talk grown business, don't get mad when grown business talks back." The internet exploded instantly. Some people said it was a subtle flex, others said it was pure gaslighting. Either way, the fire was back on full blast. King Harris wasted no time firing back again, this time not in a song, but in a fiery Instagram live session. He called out old heads who act like bullies, saying they hide behind money and followers instead of standing on real principles. Thousands tuned in live, and clips from that rant hit TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube within the hour. Meanwhile, hip-hop OGs started stepping in, trying to calm things down before it reached a point of no return. Fat Joe went live on his own page saying, "This ain't it, bro. We can't keep turning family beef into front-page mess. Somebody's got to call time out before it's too late." Even Snoop Dogg, who rarely comments on modern beefs, posted a cryptic message. Sometimes silence is the only way to win. Fans took that as a sign that the industry was getting worried. But T.I., he wasn't staying silent either. He dropped another short clip from the studio. No caption, just a beat playing in the background and him writing in a notebook. The comments section went wild with speculation. Was this a new diss? Another round coming? At the same time, Boosie kept doing interviews, half defending King, half warning him. On one radio show, he said, "King got heart, no doubt, but heart don't always win when you're dealing with dudes like 50. That man plays chess, not checkers." That line went viral instantly, becoming a meme and a soundbite across social media. Then things got even more unpredictable. 50 Cent posted an old throwback clip of him and T.I. performing together years ago, with the caption, "Different Times." That single post shifted the energy again. Some fans thought he was trying to de-escalate. Others thought it was another mind game, a silent way of saying he still controls the narrative. Music blogs started running headlines like "Cold War in Hip-Hop," 50 versus T.I. enters a new phase, and "King Harris holds his ground while legends clash." Even major outlets outside the hip-hop world picked up the story, calling it a generational showdown.
But through all the noise, one thing became clear. Nobody was actually winning. The streams, the views, the engagement was sky high, but the respect, it was breaking down fast. The industry elders were right. The deeper this went, the harder it would be to come back from. And yet, behind all the chaos, there was still that tension-filled question hanging over everything. Was this all just ego and pride, or was something deeper brewing beneath the surface? Because now, it wasn't just about King versus 50 or T.I. versus 50. It had become a mirror for how far hip-hop had come and how far it might have strayed from its roots. Everyone was watching closely, waiting to see who'd make the next move, a peace gesture, another track, or a full-blown escalation. The streets, the fans, the media, they were all on edge, knowing that whatever came next could either heal the rift or blow it wide open forever. By mid-March 2026, things were getting stranger by the day. What started as a digital beef was now spilling into real life. Club promoters, DJs, and even brand sponsors were starting to pick sides. Every move 50 Cent, T.I., or King Harris made became headline news. Rumors started flying that 50 had a new TV project in the works, one that fans thought might include subliminal jabs at the Harris family. Nothing was confirmed, but everyone online swore they could see it coming. 50's reputation for flipping real drama into screen gold had people guessing that he'd turn this entire mess into a storyline. Meanwhile, T.I. was keeping quiet publicly, but his circle wasn't. Tiny posted a short message on her story that said, "Peace don't mean weakness." It was calm but powerful, a statement that had fans reading between every single line. Then King Harris posted again, this time from a music video shoot.
The caption read, "Still standing, still solid." No mention of 50, but everyone knew what he meant. The visuals showed King surrounded by his crew, the vibe raw and confident. His comment section blew up instantly, half cheering him on, half begging him to chill before things went too far. In the middle of it all, 50 Cent broke silence again with another slick move. He announced a charity event in Atlanta, tagging T.I. in the promo post with a caption that said, "Let's do something positive for once." Some fans thought it was genuine. Others said it was just another troll disguised as growth. And just when everyone thought maybe, just maybe, the energy was cooling down, Boosie jumped back in. He went live again, shaking his head and saying, "Y'all tripping, man. This whole thing started with jokes and ended with real hate. That ain't the code." He urged both sides to sit down in private and talk it out before somebody said or did something that couldn't be taken back. Boosie even admitted he'd talked to Tootie Raw and told him to fall back too. Ain't no need to prove nothing. Let the grown folks handle it. That earned him a wave of respect across social media. People said Boosie was finally bringing some wisdom into the chaos. But then, in true internet fashion, one blog twisted his words into a headline that read, "Boosie blames King for escalating 50 Cent beef." That one post set the timeline off all over again. King responded with a subtle but firm message on his story. "I don't need validation from nobody that ain't lived my life." At that point, even other artists started jumping in with opinions. Meek Mill posted a short tweet saying, "We losing the message in the madness." Cardi B reposted a clip from one of King's lives with the caption, "He just standing up for his mama. That's real." The debate hit every corner of the culture, from mainstream outlets to street podcasts. Then, a few days later, something unexpected happened. T.I. and 50 Cent were both spotted at the same event in Los Angeles. It wasn't planned, but they ended up in the same room. No confrontation, no shouting, just two men keeping their distance while cameras flashed. The clip went viral instantly. Fans analyzed every frame like detectives. Did I nod at him? Did 50 smirk? Was that tension or respect? The moment didn't end the beef, but it marked a shift. It showed that even if things couldn't be fixed, maybe they could stop getting worse. Still, one truth remained. Words had already been said that could never be taken back. The legacy of this whole feud, the music, the disrespect, the family tension, had already carved its place in hip-hop history. Now the question wasn't who won, but what was lost in the process. Because no matter how many streams, views, or headlines came out of it, some lines, once crossed, stayed permanent. And deep down, everyone watching, from fans to OGs, knew that the next move could either be redemption or the final nail in this legendary fallout. By late March 2026, the energy around the 50 Cent and T.I. feud had taken on a life of its own. It wasn't just music or gossip anymore, it was history in motion. Every podcast, every live stream, every TikTok breakdown kept pushing the story further. The culture couldn't look away, no matter how wild it got.
At this point, both camps were moving carefully. T.I. was in full-on strategist mode, tightening up his next project, locking in interviews, and dropping cryptic messages that hinted he was not done talking yet. Meanwhile, 50 Cent had gone into his classic chess player stance, staying quiet online but making moves behind the curtain. Industry insiders whispered that he was prepping something major, a surprise record, a TV segment, maybe even a short film inspired by the feud. Then, out of nowhere, King Harris posted a clip that flipped everything again. It showed him in the studio, surrounded by producers and engineers, laying down vocals that hit harder than anything he'd released so far. The caption read, "This one's for peace, but don't get it twisted." That post instantly went viral, crossing over from hip-hop blogs to mainstream outlets. People were calling it the moment of growth for King, saying maybe he was finally turning the pain into purpose. But of course, 50 wasn't about to let the spotlight shift without a move of his own. The next day, he dropped a trailer for a new G-Unit documentary, and the timing had fans screaming conspiracy. Some claimed he was using the hype to boost the project. Others said it was just his way of reminding everyone who controls the headlines. Either way, the man knew exactly what he was doing.
Boosie, ever the unfiltered truth teller, reacted on his own live saying, "They both winning, but they losing at the same time. Ain't no real peace till somebody say it face to face." His take hit home. The fans agreed. The music was fire, the entertainment was crazy, but the heart of the matter was still unresolved. Soon, even the legends of the game started weighing in. Ice Cube said in an interview, "We came from a time when beef had purpose. Now it's all about clicks. These young cats gotta know when to turn the camera off." That quote spread everywhere, sparking debate over whether social media had turned every conflict into content instead of art. Meanwhile, King's new single, Peace Over Pain, dropped out of nowhere at midnight. It wasn't a diss, it was raw, emotional, and surprisingly reflective. He talked about legacy, pressure, and what it feels like to grow up in the shadow of hip-hop giants. Within hours, it hit 1 million streams. Fans said it was his best track yet, a sign that he was finally carving out his own lane beyond the drama. And for the first time in weeks, the tone online started to shift. People began celebrating the music again instead of just the mess. Memes turned into playlists, beef turned back into art. By the end of the month, one thing was clear. Whether you loved it or hated it, this saga had become one of the most unforgettable stories in modern hip-hop. It had everything: legacy, pain, pride, family, and fire. But it also reminded everyone where the real line in the culture stands, between expression and destruction. Because when it's all said and done, hip-hop isn't just about who wins a beef, it's about who evolves from it. If you've been following this wild story and want more deep dive breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button right now. Don't miss the next drop, because the next chapter in this saga might be even crazier than what we've seen so far.